Intelligent Ramblings with your host, Bill Lofton. Co-hosted by Gary Glenn and William Howington with help from John Cole.
Good evening. Welcome to Intelligent Ramblings. I'm Bill Lofton. I'm your host. Well, my co-hosts tonight are Gary Glenn, John Cone, and William Howington. Four friends of mine there. They're always here. So not really co-hosts. We're all hosts.
Three
much.
friends.
Three friends. But we're four friends together.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Anyway, I thought we'd start off tonight with, we're always getting into pretty hardcore stuff, and, we get into this blah, blah, blah. I thought we'd start off with a little bit of lightheartedness. That's something I saw, and I thought was just really funny.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
People of Springfield, please don't eat my cats. Why would you do that? Eat something else. People of Springfield, please don't eat my dog. Here's a catalog of other things to eat.
They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow. I'm sorry, guys. I just saw that. I've watched it about 30 times. It's got a great melody. The guy's actually got some talent as a singer, and it's funny as hell. What possessed him to say that and what people believe is up to them, but it was absolutely funny. I mean, a little humor to start it off.
Little humor.
Told you you're going to get to see it. You said you've seen it once, and that was enough. And didn't you hear me say, well, you're going to see it twice. I didn't want to blow the surprise. Well, we need to get into something that's not quite as funny. It's not even funny at all. Walkie-talkie explosions injure hundreds in Lebanon a day after pager attacks. These walkie-talkies, all into solar equipment, that other devices exploded suddenly Wednesday at the site of a funeral of 3 Hezbollah members, and a child was killed by exploding pagers the day before. The day before, yesterday, it was pagers. Today, it was walkie-talkies. And I got to thinking, that's kind of scary that they were able to do that. And, makes you want to pick up your phone and look at it and go, is that sucker going to blow up on me or what? I know it's horrible on the fact, though, they're just so indiscriminate about where it goes off and when it goes off.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can see what's going to happen when the damn things blow up. Is there a 3-year-old holding a phone, or is a 3-year-old playing a video game? So that part is horrible to me. The part of it actually working as it has, spreading terror throughout Hezbollah, is ingenious. And once again, we're at war. Or they're at war. And as they say, all's fair in love and war. What do you guys think?
I think that's pretty low down.
Yeah, that's it's genius, but it's evil genius.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it, John. Evil genius.
That's some James Bond kind of stuff, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
Pagers and phones and walkie-talkies blowing up. It's straight out of the armory.
Well, the likely scenario, from what I've been able to deduct, is the fact that somewhere along the line, Israel absconded with a shipment of walkie-talkies and a shipment of pagers, put a code in them, and a little bitty piece of TNT or C4 or whatever they put in them, and then put them back in the mail system. And when it got to Hezbollah, they thought it was coming directly from somebody, and they just started passing them out like Snickers bars, you know. But the fact that they did it to where there's no way they could control it when they went off, just indiscriminately, boom, you know. 14 people were killed. And as far as I know, 2 children.
Well, then that starts making you no better than the people that you're trying to fight.
Yeah.
You know, if that's what you think it needs, you need to do to win, then that's your business. But it's not very nice. It's certainly not conducive to the ongoing talks of trying to achieve peace in that region.
I have serious. I seriously wonder if Israel wants to actually make peace. That Netanyahu, their supreme leader of sorts.
Yeah.
I really wonder if he wants to make peace, or is this a land grab? I'm gonna clean out 20 miles all around Israel, but I'm gonna make it look like they started it.
Well, they didn't start it, but
They're going to finish it.
You get to a
Yeah,
point
they are.
where what do you want? Do you want peace, or you want a whole lot more people to die? Right now, it looks like a whole lot more people are going to die, and I don't think that's a good thing.
I will have to say I'm in absolute agreement with you. It's just got to a point where they've made their point 30 times over.
Yeah, how many more people have died now on the other side than were killed in the initial attack? Again, I mean, I realize the other side started it, and what is your purpose? Is your purpose, like you say, Bill, is your purpose to expand your territory, or is it to achieve peace and a lasting peace in the region, which existed for quite a number of years under the accords between Menachem Begin and Yasser Arafat? Or is it just to simply kill a bunch of people and say, okay, now we're going to take all your stuff? Are you going to retire to your original borders, or we're going to expand our territory? What do you want to do? I think somebody needs to ask that question. What's your purpose here?
Yeah. Because the revenge factor has been done 30 times over.
You know, put your cards on the table. If you want to take over that territory, say that.
That seems to
leave
be
all
what
out.
it is. The retrieving the hostages, however many of them are left alive, doesn't seem to be high on the list of things to do. And now it's over 40,000 people, 40,000 civilians have died. And it's just hugely disproportionate number of people that there's no need for that.
That's an actual picture of some pagers and walkie-talkies that have been disassembled. And maybe part of them blown up.
It looks like they rapidly disassembled.
Explosively.
Explosively.
Yeah. Well, hopefully cooler heads will prevail sometime, and they'll be able to get a ceasefire going for who knows how long and put a stop to it, at least for a while.
At least for a while. It would be nice to have it for a while. I don't understand why they can't get this ironed out. And
You know, the thing about it is, it's a pretty area of the world. If they just quit killing one another, we'd go over there and build them a few motels and hotels and some 7-Elevens. Everybody be making money.
Yeah.
absolutely.
But nobody's going to go over there if they think they're going to get shot or caught in a crossfire or,
Mm-hmm.
Blown up.
incidental, what do they call it? Collateral damage. Yeah. Nobody wants to do that now. So people are staying away in droves.
Oh, Lebanon was one of the prettiest places on the planet. I mean, it was like it was like Hawaii without the hurricanes. It was an absolutely gorgeous place. And they've turned it into, well, what happens when you bomb shit out of each other for years.
Mm-hmm. Imagine
Anyway, going on with some good news. Federal Reserve cut key rate by a sizable half point, signaling into its inflation fight. And I'm going to turn this over to John Cone. What are your thoughts?
Well, my first thought is I was expecting 0.25%, because so the size of the rate cut is a little surprising, which also tells you that the Fed, they're trying to take care of their dual mandate, and they're changing their focus from controlling inflation to preserving the strength of the labor market. And I think they may slow down and do 25-point rate cuts after this. The last time we talked about this, like 3 weeks ago, we actually talked about the Fed funds futures rates, which were predicting that 25 basis points or 0.25% was the likely rate cut that they would do. So this will help anybody who's buying a car, trying to buy a house. It'll take a little while to work through the financial markets, but it will mean that mortgage rates will go lower. Credit card rates will go lower. Auto loan rates will go lower. And they're going to continue to go lower as long as the Fed maintains this posture and cuts again in a month or 2 months.
You think this is related to the election? A lot of things going right.
No.
Make it look like the current regime is doing something.
I am so confident in saying that it doesn't have anything to do with the election. They don't care.
The Fed is not Democrat or Republican.
And actually, I think Jay Powell is a Republican, or was at one time, but they're so not focused on the politics of this. They're just trying to do their job.
This will stimulate the economy, no doubt.
Oh yeah.
The cost of borrowing money lower, so you should see some increased movement in the housing and the auto market and things that require some big ticket money.
Companies will take on new projects that they weren't going to take on when the rates were higher. They're going to borrow more money and create more jobs, and it's going to hopefully keep the labor market going the way it's been going over the last couple, 3 years.
Well, it's they're talking about doing 2 more cuts before the end of the year, and a total of 5. So
Well, I'll probably wait
Okay,
and see
buddy,
how
hold
this
on to
plays
buying
out.
that car until
Yeah.
Yeah.
like February or March, and you can get yourself a seriously difference in the rate that
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to buy that.
We hear a lot about the soft landing, and they're trying to engineer a soft landing. We're in the landing. We're on the runway right now. So it may get worse than this. In terms of numbers like GDP and the unemployment rate, but so far they're doing what they were hoping to be able to do.
Well, it's a double-edged sword in a lot of ways. Does the stimulus to the economy cause prices to go up because more people have more money? It's a delicate balancing act, and in an economy our size, it's hard to turn the ship around, right?
Yes.
It's the Titanic. Once it starts going on a certain way, it's hard to slow that sucker down or make a sudden turn. So I think they're going to be fairly cautious. I'm with you, John. That was a little bit of a shock for it to be that much, but maybe they're trying to jumpstart the housing, because let's face it, it's been kind of, although we've seen a lot of construction and all that, the construction seems to be more in the multifamily housing development kind of thing rather than single family homes. More people are renting rather than buying right now. Maybe they're trying to put that back on the table to find to increase the numbers of single family homes that are out there. We'll see.
Interesting times.
Well, before we go on to the next subject, I wanted to say hello and thank you to the people that are watching right now. It's always nice to have folks there. If you want to just chat in and say hello, I'm whoever you are, and that would be fine. We'd love to know who's watching, but we know they are watching, and we appreciate it. And for those that listen to us later on down the road and hear us, we will say thank you to them as well.
Well, the viewing habits of the American public are a whole lot different than when we were all young folks. You had the 3 channels, sometimes 4 or 5 if you were lucky, and you watched the show when it was on, or you didn't watch it, or you waited until it came around the summertime in reruns. Now you just record stuff. You watch it anytime you want to.
Yep. Life has changed a little bit since we were young.
You think?
I used to be the remote. I was told to get up
Yeah.
and change the channel.
Absolutely.
We all
Absolutely.
were. We all were.
You didn't have but one TV.
Yes.
At least we did.
Yeah, we didn't even have a TV my junior and senior in high school. It broke, and my dad said the damn thing's worthless anyway. I'm not fixing it. So we just didn't have one. So I missed 2 years. I don't have any clue.
I don't remember not having a television, but I remember for a long time it was black and white.
Oh yeah.
When we got our first color TV, we thought, oh man, we're like like the Jeffersons. We're moving on up now.
Moving on up.
Nice.
And I remember my nephew Sid and my sister Lori are about the same age, and they got into a fight or something one time. And I think Sid threw a pool ball at Lori, and she ducked, and it hit that television, that color TV screen, put a great big old crack in it. Guess what? We just watched it anyway. Ain't no telling how much radiation we absorbed. That thing coming out like that. Maybe that's what's wrong with me.
That answers a few questions right there.
Doesn't it though?
Oh,
House
wow.
Republicans condemn negotiations with the World Health Organization. They're picking on somebody besides Biden for the first time in a while. House Republicans took to the podium on May 17th to condemn the Biden administration's negotiation of global pandemic agreements that they say will grant additional power to the World Health Organization. Well, it seems like to me, after the clusterfuck called COVID, that we need somebody to pay more attention, so something like that doesn't sneak up on us again.
Well, a lot of the Republican governors have been, and I think their point is, well, the fact that the Republicans don't seem to like much of anybody these days. But I think the point, and well, this point is well taken. You do not want an extra national organization necessarily commandeering your national policy.
Right.
I mean, the United States, after all, does have a constitution. We have a way of doing things and things that should get done. Most of the time it works. Sometimes there's some dysfunction, but I understand that part of the argument. Now, the fact that if you just unilaterally condemn somebody because you don't like it, you still listen to what they have to say, and if it's a good idea, you implement it. If it's not, you ignore it. That's my personal opinion.
Well, it makes sense.
Well, they just don't want the World Health Organization to have power over the United States. And
Well, yeah, that's what I said. I don't really like that idea either. Governor Kemp of Georgia signed on to that thing about objecting to that portion of it.
Yeah, I don't want some guy from trying to think of a country. Some guy from Sweden tell me how I gotta do anything. You know.
no, and that's what will happen.
Well, if this is true, then
Well, the Senate's not going to pass it anyway, so it's a moot point. Sorry. The Senate just is not going to go for it. It's highly Democratic, and they're not going to. It's got to be a pretty big majority before it even passes, and the Democrats aren't going to vote for it.
No, nobody's.
Well,
gonna
they
vote for
shouldn't.
that.
It's political theater. It's just posing by the Republicans, and they don't care one way or the other. It just looks good for their, for their way of thinking and their campaign practices. So
in other words, it's not going to happen any way you look at it because they'll
No.
never get voted in. And now the Republicans are grandstanding on something that ain't going to pass anyway. So they're just making noise to be making noise.
Oh, both sides.
Well, let's
do
hope
that.
not.
Well, no, both sides do that. We waste a whole lot of time in this country protesting things that never will happen, or trying to fix things that ain't broke.
Yeah.
Well, come on. I mean, we do. Look at it. Doesn't matter what administration does. They spend a whole lot of time trying to make the other guys look bad, make ourselves look good. And, the fact that, and a perfect example of this is when one administration is in power at the executive level and something comes open on the Supreme Court. You look at that. The history of that has been the fact that
History of that.
Yeah, right there at
the
the
other side
point.
says, oh, let's don't do this now. Let's wait. Come on.
yeah, immigration policy is a good example of
Sure.
why would we ever fix this? We get too many. It's just clickbait, headline grabbing stuff.
Well, we have a problem with
What's the
immigration.
problem? Let's just talk about it and
We
make
do
11
have a
o'clock
problem.
news.
We do have a problem with immigration, but everybody keeps kicking that can down the road because you know why? Because American businesses and American homeowners and American citizens benefit from the fact that you can pay people less money if they're illegal.
Right.
Who's going
All
to pick that fruit? Who's going to work in the poultry and the carpet mills? Okay. What do you
Or
want?
house cleaning or landscaping or any of those.
Cutting down trees. I just had some trees cut down, and none of them could speak English.
Oh, I had one taken down here not too long ago, and they were really good at what they did. And they were up there. One guy was climbing around up there like some kind of acrobat or something. And when they left, they cleaned everything up, and they were done.
Mm-hmm.
So who's going to do those jobs?
Yeah.
They're not taking jobs. Those jobs were laying on the table, and nobody wanted them. So now they're
this
here.
is-
So quit bitching about it.
Sorry, Gary, this is way off to the side, but when you had your trees cut down, did the stump grinder come and grind the stumps down?
No.
we didn't do that. We've had that done before, but this particular one was so close to the fence and so forth, we just let it sit. We had some taken down in the middle of the yard. Some of those tall, skinny pine trees that if you don't take them down, you're going to be wearing them. The next storm
Yeah.
comes along,
Yeah.
and so we did have the stump grinders come out and do that because it was in the middle of the yard. But these are right close to the fence and right next to a neighbor's fence, and we didn't fool with that.
I've been thinking stump grinding would be like a good little side hustle because it's $75 a stump, and you just tow your stump grinder from one tree stump to the next and just stand there and watch it work. And it's dirty and loud and noisy, but so are a lot of other jobs. And I'm telling you, man, $75 a stump, not bad.
Yeah.
Sean Diddy Combs made a fresh bid for bail in his sex trafficking and conspiracy case. He got turned down again by another judge, which pretty much says that Sean Diddy Combs is going to be in jail till he goes to trial, and then he's going to be into jail forever. Because what he's done, sex trafficking and whatnot, and conspiracy and all that, they got him for about a lifetime worth of sentences. He's not a very nice person. I mean, you could tell that by the way he was abusing that woman on that film that everybody saw.
Yeah, that looked terrible.
I mean, that just creeps me out to think somebody like that. I wouldn't let him in my house.
No, he deserves what he gets.
Right. People that make a whole lot of money sometimes get the idea that they're invulnerable. They're bulletproof to everything. And money insulates you from a great deal. It really does. But it doesn't insulate you from everything. Particularly if they got you dead to rights. And it looks like they do here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's through.
Oh, we got Debbie Bell saying hello. Hey, Debbie. Missed you
Hi,
on the last
Debbie.
hike. We ran into some flowers that we had no clue what they were, and I said, I wish Debbie was here to tell us what in the hell this is, because it's pretty. Look at the video, and you'll hear me say that. And one other comment. This is the closest I get to watching TV. Well, we're going to look forward to you watching TV here on W Intelligent Ramblings every Wednesday night.
Right
Let's see.
here.
That's pretty sad.
And here's another perfect example. When was the last time any of us had a gun taken away? Yet we're protesting that they're trying to take away guns. I know. They ain't never going to take our guns. But it'd be a national... I own a gun. I'm sure several of these guys owns guns. Harris owns a gun. Waltz owns a gun. Trump owns 12 people that don't have guns. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to come take my guns away.
Kenny is here too.
Hey, Kenny.
All right.
Hey, Kenny. Thank you guys for being
Right.
here.
Yeah, thank you.
And a big laugh from Debbie. But we do appreciate you guys being here. And I am starting to plan another hike, by the way, Debbie. And I want to make it an easy one. And I'll need some help on trying to figure out the route. Because you know me, I pick hikes that you think you're going to die before you get finished. But I'd like to do one here pretty soon. And with that, we're going to take a quick commercial, and then we're going to come back to college football. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
everybody.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right now. Well, there we are in the lights. Oh, Sean, you're still there. Thought I got rid of you. There we go.
There we go.
Here we are, college football 2024. We are in week
4.
4. I'm gonna count you. Remember that for me every week, John, because
No problem.
I seem to forget it every week.
I have to remind myself, but I will do it.
Write it
awesome.
down.
Well, on the notable things going on in college football, the only thing I really saw that was notable is the Pac-2 is now the Pac, which used to be the Pac-12, is now the Pac-6, with the addition of Boise State, Fresno State, San Diego State, and Colorado State. Not really barn burners as teams, but all of them can beat somebody at one time or another during the season, so you got to watch out for them. Those kind of teams, those Northern Illinois type teams that sneak up on you and beat you when you're least expecting it. So it's a credible conference. They basically 2 schools short of the 8 they need to have in place in 2 years to be recognized as a conference by the NCAA. So more moves are expected. Any
I'm sure
predictions
that'll
on
happen.
who? They got to
Yeah.
get 8.
I'm sure that'll happen.
Any guesses on who you think might be the team to do that? Would be the teams that they would pick and move in there?
I think some of the teams that moved to the Big Ten will move back.
That could be. What about somebody like Washington State? They would fit right in.
Well, that is Washington State. Washington State and Oregon State are the Big 2.
Oh, okay.
That's all that's left of the Big 12. Or the Pac-12. Not the Big.
Well,
Big.
See, I knew that made perfectly good sense.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
But they're already there.
Well, and the fact is now that geography doesn't seem to be any kind of a deterrent. They can come from anywhere. I mean, you got Texas and Oklahoma in the SEC now, so
That'd be a good place for Vandy to go. Because I
you
think
got
Vanderbilt,
half the
They
country
gotta be
away.
good.
It doesn't matter.
they got to be tired of being 2-8 or 2-9 every year, and now they're going to be a harder schedule. They're going to be 1-9, 1-10, maybe win 3 games.
1-11. They play 12 games.
I mean, it's a great season if they win 4 games. That's a successful season for Vanderbilt. I've thought a long time ago that they have no business being in the SEC.
Well, that's because it's a whole lot easier. Now, they compete very well in other sports because it's a whole lot easier to find, 12 smart people who can play basketball than it is to find the 90 smart people who can play football.
Yeah.
They do
They've
have
had
a good
good
baseball
teams too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won the national championship a couple of times recently.
Well, was it Swanson? Swanson was on the Vandy team that won the World Series, right?
Yeah.
So he won a college World Series and he's run a professional World Series. So Dansby Swanson's one of those people that came out of the Vandy program. Football is such an outlier of all sports. It really belongs in its own category, I mean, you got so many people that you have to be competitive. And your backups, it's becoming like the NFL now. Your backups better be ready to play because you're playing more games. The competition is harder. The athletes are bigger, faster, and stronger. And it's going to wear you out. Now, particularly think about it now. If you go to this 12-team playoff, think how much more wear and tear that puts on you. And football is not like basketball and baseball. Football is not a contact sport. Football is a collision sport. That's the
it's
difference.
amazing. The collisions that
difference.
these guys make. It's amazing.
It's
No,
the equivalent
fact that
of
they
being
can
in
get
it's the same G-force as being in a car wreck.
Yeah.
60 times a
it's
day if you're 60 times a game if you're a lineman and you play 60
Play
snaps.
after play,
60
after play,
car
game after game. It takes a toll.
Well, I,
So the
I
football
remember.
football is its own thing.
I remember my dad telling, I can't think of his name. He was a fullback at fullback/running back at Greater Atlanta Christian, and he went to Georgia and played, and he played fullback for Georgia. Can't think of his name right now, but the kid was huge, and he was fast, and he was 1A material, and my dad said, if you get a chance to go to the pros, don't. I suggest against it. He said, it's too, they hit too hard. It's gotten to a point now that it's not worth it. Anyway, now how long is the age for being a professional player? What's the average? Of
The
their
running back is not
life-
very old.
life expectancy in the NFL, and then you play 2 years or get hurt or whatever, or 3 years and get hurt in the NFL, and you got out of school as a junior, you're working at McDonald's because you ain't got no college diploma. I have a lot of respect for the ones that do go back and get their diploma.
Or
yeah.
the ones now, or the ones now because of the transfer portal, they're in graduate school. They've got a degree.
Mhm.
Doesn't Vandergriff? Doesn't Brock Vandergriff have a degree from Georgia?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He graduated
Yeah.
from Georgia.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's people now that the game has changed a lot. Not just the fact that it's, people are bigger, faster, and stronger and hit a whole hell of a lot harder than they ever did, but the whole thing, the whole mentality about the game is now, you can make a ton of money being in college with this
That's
NIL stuff, and if you're smart, you realize, you know what, I can't do this forever. Maybe the life expectancy of probably the average pro is maybe 4 or 5 years, maybe.
Something like that. 4 point
And
something.
then, the people that play for a long time, like Peyton Manning and some of those guys, who take really good care of themselves, or like Tom Brady did, and do what they need to do to stay in shape and win. Those people are few and far between. The people that come out of it, some of them come out very, very wealthy. They're set for life, but you do need to have something to fall back on, and some of these people have already got that. If you're smart while you're in school, now that you can make 6-7 figures, you're starting to put some of that money aside against the time when you can't do this anymore. There's just a point that you can't. I mean, we all, you and I and my brothers here, we've all gotten to the point now we can't do the stuff we used to do, and we're just regular Joes.
No.
Hell no.
We're not
Wish I
professional
could.
athletes. Oh yeah, me too. I wish my damn knees didn't hurt like this, but they do.
All right, guys, y'all ready for college football picks? Week
Let's pick
5.
Let's do it.
Week 5. Starting us off, University of Louisiana Monroe at Texas. University of Louisiana Monroe Warhawks beat up on UAB last weekend, but will dramatically end their unbeaten streak. Texas by 28,
No,
not
At
more.
least.
if not more.
that's sort of a you name it kind of score right there.
You don't
think
think
so,
they can
too.
sneak up on them? They're undefeated,
No.
and they handled UAB pretty handily.
Yeah, didn't Georgia beat UAB a few years ago? Like whatever.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
UAB dropped the program about 7 years ago.
For
Just
2 years.
reinstated it recently.
They dropped it for 2 years, and the alumni got so loud that they reinstated it before the president that dropped it got unloaded. And they've got a pretty good program down there. All right, well, we pretty well understand this one. Marshall at Ohio State. Marshall is 1-1 after being doubled up by Virginia Tech. Ohio State is elite and will show why they are the #1 team in the country. Ohio State by 35.
Yes, the Thundering Herd will be stampeded by the Buckeyes.
Yes.
Marshall's pretty good, though. They always compete well. I think they'll be competitive, but Ohio State will come out on top.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that Marshall has a down year. They got thumped by Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech's pretty good, though.
But they're not in the class of Ohio State.
No.
No, they're not the same class.
Tennessee at Oklahoma. Oklahoma barely got past Houston and was held in check by Tulane for most of the game, while Tennessee has scored 51 points on everybody. The Sooners will be on a rocky top this week. Tennessee by 21.
I got Oklahoma in an upset.
So that'd be a big upset.
Yeah, I think the Volunteers
They're playing
may be
in
too
Oklahoma
much.
is the only thing that worries me about my
Well,
prognostication there.
Well, this could be competitive. Like as I said before, after this thing with Kentucky this past week, the great Dan McGill would always point out that they got scholarship athletes too. And sometimes people rise to the occasion. I mean, this is not Marshall you're playing. I still think Tennessee's going to win, but Oklahoma has the capability of rising up. So it might be a pretty good ball game. We'll see. That's why you line up
Yeah.
play.
Speaking of different kinds of football, I want to take a break in our picks and show you what I think would be something really fun, and I think that's something we ought to look at. The four of us.
You're not saying we need to play something.
Take a touchdown right there. Now, could you imagine the four of us in a mud hole like that playing football? You're not going to get hurt because you can't run fast enough.
No, thank you very much.
I think it'd be great.
No,
I
I
don't
know.
even get money.
I just flash back to those Sunday afternoons we used to play on the playground over at the elementary school.
Oh gosh.
People who weren't quite men but were older than boys, and we were just nuts. We were just nuts. We sent people to
Tackle
hospital
football
like
with no
every day.
pads.
Tackle, and it wasn't like rugby. I mean, this was like, full on contact. What did it was your daddy Billy that said, if I catch you up there playing with those idiots, you're off the team.
Yeah.
And we were. That was just crazy. That was just crazy.
Well, I missed
Hey,
a whole.
Really quickly, Tennessee and Oklahoma. I picked Tennessee, but I have this feeling that Brent Venables has been waiting for this game, and they are going to be ready. So if I was Tennessee, I'd come in there eyes wide open and be ready for a contest because he's going to give it to them.
I'll have to agree, 100%. Miami at South Florida. South Florida stayed with Alabama for 3 quarters and then got 28 put on them. But this week the Bulls will be put out to pasture by Miami. 21 points. That's my line.
Well, it is at South Florida, but Miami, I think, is the deeper team, and South Florida has had some success in recent years, but I'm thinking that Miami's too deep, and I think eventually it'll be like what happened with Alabama. I think it'll probably be in the third and fourth quarter. I think the Hurricanes will start blowing them up.
I think Miami will win too, but I went with South Florida.
Isn't the coach at South Florida, what's his name, that used to coach at Auburn?
No, he said Central Florida.
Okay.
Malzahn.
Yes, thank you. Could not come up with his name.
Well, I'm going with upset there with South Florida, so y'all can win a game over me.
Kent State is a small school and still hasn't got a win. Penn State is a big school, but has only barely won 2. It still won't be close. Penn State by 28. 4 more.
Nittany Lions will roar.
This
Yeah,
ain't
I have
much-
to go with Penn State.
This isn't much of a pick'em because this is, Kent State sucks for an FCS school.
Yeah, I'm going with Penn State.
Same for me.
Oop, went the wrong way. USC at Michigan. Defending national champions lost their coach and their quarterback, and it shows. USC by 10.
Yeah, we've all got USC on this one.
But I did go back and forth on this one a little bit. This one,
Yeah, I thought about it since it's at Michigan.
Yeah, this
I
one.
did a
might be
little
pretty close.
bit, but not really. Michigan really looked bad a couple weeks ago when they played Texas. I mean, they looked really bad.
Yeah,
They
I
couldn't do
went with
anything.
USC.
But USC ain't Texas. We all know that. John, who are you going for?
I've got USC. Oh, it's USC across the board for this one.
Yeah, we all got it.
Utah at Oklahoma State. In the battle of the unbeatens, the Cowboys will round up Utah and put them in the corral. Oklahoma State by 7. Y'all like that play on words?
I did.
That was good.
Thank you.
And this is another one I went back and forth on, but I went with the Cowboys too.
I've got the Utah Utes. in
Yeah, I do
Michigan.
too. If Cam Rising plays.
I got Oklahoma State.
We're split here. 2 from
Well, we split
Utah,
on that
2
one.
from Oklahoma State.
Oh. That'll make it a little bit more interesting. UCLA at is a big thing here. At LSU. UCLA will see what it's like to play in Baton Rouge. LSU is the middle of a pack SEC team, but will stick the Bruins back in their honey. Will not be close. LSU by 28.
What time of day is this game? You know, is it a night game, John? Do you know?
I do not, but I can look really quick. Let's see.
UCLA does not have a good team this year. They've gotten whacked a couple times. LSU it's an SEC top tier team. Maybe mid top. Not
Yeah, they're mid. I wouldn't say top tier. They're mid.
they're below Alabama. They're below Georgia. They're below Ole Miss. Tennessee,
Missouri.
Missouri, yep. So the LSU's towards the middle of the pack SEC team, but UCLA is not going to see the speed that LSU's got.
Right.
Any SEC team cannot hope to survive without a lot of speed. That's what makes SEC schools is our amount of speed. That's why Ohio State can't play with us.
The game starts at 3:30, Gary. So those Raging Cajuns won't be quite as inebriated as, say, if the game started at 7.
They'll be
No,
inebriated.
No, yeah, they will be. They won't quite be as liquored up as if it was at night.
I got LSU, but I can't watch it. I got to go to a nephew's wedding.
I've
Yeah,
got
man.
LSU also.
All of us have LSU.
I think
Yes.
so.
I tell all my kin and everybody that knows me, if you want something from me on a Saturday from August till mid-January, don't ask me to do it on Saturday. Because I'll look at you square in the eye and say I'm going to be watching a ball game that day.
So
And I
at
mean
least he's not getting married on the weekend Georgia plays.
I wouldn't go to the wedding. I wouldn't. Georgia Tech,
Oh.
Yellow Jackets at number 19, Louisville. Tech started out great with what we know as not a big upset, upending FSU, but has played some quality ball. Louisville has played no one that really counts. I'm picking Georgia Tech in the upset by 3.
I'm with you,
Same
Bill.
here.
I'm with you. I think Tech might have a little bit something to prove with the fact that that they did open up with, as you said, what we know is not such a big upset now, but Florida State's still a quality program over the years. I think this is a chance for Tech to get back on the winning track, and I think they'll be focused. And Tech does have some talent, and I like the coach. This will be
Yeah,
close.
I like
and
that coach too.
I don't.
Either way,
John,
it's
you
gonna
went
be
with
close.
Tech?
Anticipate it being a blowout.
I did. I went with Tech as well.
We all
It's
did.
another one. We all
Wow.
picked LSU. We all picked Tech.
I felt bad picking Tech. You know,
Oh yeah.
No, I just picked them on a whim. To be honest with you, I think Louisville will probably beat them.
you want to change your pick, William?
No,
You can change it right now if you want to. John's got the computer warmed up.
no, I'm gonna stay with Tech.
I've got the spreadsheet right here in front of me.
Well, we may all regret that, but well, it looks like we're going to
Yeah.
stay with Tech.
This is our chance. North Carolina State at Clemson. Clemson got thrashed by Georgia Bulldogs and then thrashed Appalachian State. North Carolina State got thrashed by Tennessee, but barely got past two lower tier opponents. They play in Death Valley, and that says it all. Clemson by 14.
I wonder about if it's going to be by 14 because these two teams do not like each other, and NC State always plays Clemson. I mean that whatever A game they've got, they bring it to Clemson.
I think they beat Clemson the last 2 years.
Kind of like
No,
Kentucky
they-
and Georgia.
Yeah, pretty much like that. It's just a fist fight.
But they're playing at Clemson at Death Valley, and that is a hell of a stadium to play in. You're going to walk into orange like you've never seen. And those
Yeah,
people are
such a
crazy.
lovely shade.
They are crazy.
I'm going with the Tigers. Yeah, Clemson.
Same here.
We've all got Clemson. So that's like the last three picks. We're all the way across the board picking the same.
Florida at Mississippi State. Florida is awful. Mississippi State is worse. Florida 35-14.
It's at Mississippi State. I'm going to disagree with you there, Bill. I'm going to pick the other Bulldogs on that.
The Maroon Bulldogs.
The Maroons.
Maroons.
William, who you going with?
I'm going with Florida. Surely they can beat Mississippi State. They're terrible, but hopefully they're not that terrible.
John?
I have a friend that played at Mississippi State, and Florida. I don't know, man. Is there a team that has been worse than Florida over the last few weeks of this season? They're just so bad, and it's not going to get any better. So, for kind of sentimental reasons, I went with Mississippi State.
Good, William. We'll pick up one on both of them. Arkansas at Auburn. The Razorbacks barely lost to Oklahoma State. Auburn has only lost to the California. Tiger Stadium is not an easy place to play. Still going with Arkansas 14-3. I hate Auburn. I hope they get beat 12 times this year.
Well, I picked Auburn in that one. Again, home team. Wouldn't surprise me if Arkansas were to win. But Auburn, I'm picking them over there.
Boys, what y'all going for?
I went
I've
with
got
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Y'all both said it at the same time. I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
John?
Same for me. I've got Arkansas. I thought about what Gary was talking about is, and you too, Bill. It's at home, Jordan-Hare Stadium. Bless those poor people's heart. They can't figure out who their mascot is. So I think it's going to be Arkansas. It's a road game. They'll take more chances. It's a good opportunity for Arkansas to get a W.
And let's see. Michigan State at Boston College. Michigan State barely beat Florida Atlantic and upset Maryland. Boston College barely beat a terrible FSU team and lost a burn burner to Missouri. Boston College, 21-3. No, I just. Fuck. Yeah, Boston College, 21-3.
Well, we're going to have some separation here because I'm going with the Spartans. That's for Michigan State.
Go
just
Sparty. I've got Boston College.
I got Boston College too.
Yeah, we'll be able to catch up with Gary on
28-21, though, a closer game than you got it.
Yeah, that's like I said. This will give us one we can catch up to Gary.
Maybe
not.
Baylor at
Never know.
Colorado. Colorado almost got upset by a good North Dakota State team and got trounced by Nebraska, while Baylor has scored a lot on lower tier teams but lost to Utah. The Buffaloes will roam on Baylor. 21-3, Colorado.
I'm in agreement with you here.
And they're at Colorado.
It may not be that much of a margin, but I'm going with the Buffs. It's about time for Dion to rally the
something.
troops out there.
I got it 42-38 Colorado. I think it'll be high scoring. I don't think either one of them can stop the other one.
I'm thinking that Colorado and Coach Prime are going to stub their toe, pun intended, over Coach Prime's amputated toe, and the Baylor Bears will prevail in an upset.
You are so bad, John Cone.
Oh, they get us one to
For
catch up
making
with
fun
John.
of Coach Prime's amputated toe.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you get a ghost toe sensation.
That
if
leads
you-
us to
I'll shut
you
up
do.
now.
the prediction battle, which is not up to snuff right now because William obviously at 19-36 didn't get some of his picks in on time, or John
Missed something. I don't know what happened.
brain damaged it off and missed it. But
It's the spreadsheet's fault.
It's the spreadsheet's fault.
I'm in
But-
now.
As of right now, it's pretty damn close. Gary's got 30 out of 36. John's got 30 out of 36. I'm at 29 out of 36. And we're yet to see what Williams got, but he's got 19 out of 36, so don't pay attention to that.
Well, I didn't do too good last week. I can tell you that. I picked some upsets. I picked LSU over South Carolina, or South Carolina over LSU.
So did I.
And
But
I picked Oregon
Basically-
State over Oregon.
one game between the
What?
top three,
Yeah. It was at Oregon State.
which is trouble for the other guys because I always started at the bottom and worked my way back up. So
Just keep telling yourself that.
we will we'll see how that comes out. Anyway, that's college football 2024 for this week. We're going to take a short break and then we'll come back to our final statements and our closing remarks. Oop. Put you guys down here with me. There we go. Well, we just passed week 5 of year 2 of Intelligent Ramblings, and thank you for everybody that showed up and watched us, and the people that
Thank
happen
you.
to watch us down the road. We appreciate that as well. And any comments, please go to our Intelligent Ramblings Friends group on Facebook You can also catch the replay of the college football portion of the show. We'll be out around 9:30 or 10 o'clock tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. Who the hell knows? And you can catch it there on Intelligent College Football on YouTube. Any finishing remarks, guys? We can't
Another
say
good
go
show.
Dogs because they're not going anywhere this week. So
Yeah, well,
Hopefully
they got
they're-
something looming on the horizon though that's pretty big.
yeah, it's going to be we got our work cut out for us next week when we play Alabama, and I think that game at Kentucky is going to be a good thing for us to show that Georgia is not. It shows that they are beatable.
Yeah,
and
and it
setting
doesn't
their
matter
head.
that you dropped in the rankings. That doesn't make that's a fart in a whirlwind right there. You know, it doesn't matter.
Couldn't care less.
You got
I
to
couldn't
you got
care
a
less.
playoff. You got a playoff now, and it'll all be settled on the field.
I
so-
will.
Doesn't matter what you ranked. I mean, it's good fodder for people like us to talk about and think about and all that kind of thing. But doesn't matter. You know, you got to line up and play.
Well, guys, we'll see y'all next week. Hope everybody has a productive and safe week, and hope all your prayers get answered.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks.
Sleep well.